Former MVP of the National League, star outfielder with the Milwaukee Brewers. He is also the co-founder of California Strong, which has raised more than $3 million for Californians in need. Ryan Braun, welcome back to The Issue Is.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
So we'll talk about the important charity work in a moment, but let's begin by talking about baseball. Do you think that you're going to be playing baseball in front of a crowd of people this season?
I'm optimistic that there will be some semblance of a baseball season. I think it will, in all likelihood, look drastically different than any baseball season we've played before or anybody else has had an opportunity to watch before. I don't think it's too likely that we play baseball in front of fans, at least any time in the near future.
We've heard the thought that there might be a baseball season where all the teams are all in Arizona playing with no fans. What do you make of that possibility?
I think, unfortunately, it might be our only option at this point. I think we're either looking at all teams in Arizona or half the teams in Arizona, the other half the teams in Florida where they have their spring training facilities. You eliminate a lot of variables that way. I think that having all 30 teams in 30 separate cities is something that's extremely unlikely.
I mean, you've been playing in front of big crowds since you were a high school star here in Southern California, 2 or 3 years ago. You've been playing in front of crowds for like 20 years, Ryan. What would that be like playing baseball for you in front of no crowd?
The atmosphere and the environment that the fans create is so unique. It's something that we're all incredibly appreciative of and grateful for. And it's not something that any of us as baseball players would choose to experience. But again, if the option is either no baseball or baseball without fans, we hope that we're able to play some type of baseball, even if it's without anybody in the ballpark.
When you think about sports, it's such an important part of the economy as well, not only for the athletes on the field, but you think about all the people, all the concession workers. I know you and your teammate and California Strong co-founder Christian Yelich have both given hundreds of thousands of dollars to help pay for the concession workers at Miller Park, where you play in Wisconsin. Think about that, all the people that are being impacted in all these different ways by what's happening here.
There's countless people that have been impacted, and it's heartbreaking to think about what they're going through. So for us to be able to do our small part and help those people, and as much as anything for them to know that we care about them, that we're going to be here to help them now and hopefully help them into the future, is something that is incredibly meaningful to us. But again, as you said, there's so many people that help allow us to be able to do our jobs, whose lives have been forever impacted by this situation.
Yeah, I mean, you've been giving in so many different ways. Let's talk about California Strong. This was co-founded by you and a group of other athletes back in 2018 following the Woolsey Fire. You got this big celebrity softball game that is your main fundraiser with really big stars in it. And the last guy on the bench last year, I can't believe you recruited me to play. I somehow got a double, ran as fast as I possibly could without embarrassing myself. AKA MVP, right?
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. I think that you're clearly athletic. I think that once an athlete, always an athlete. You performed well. We enjoyed having you out there. But as you alluded to, the support we've gotten from other athletes, from actors, actresses, musicians, prominent people in the business world has been overwhelming. It's something none of us could have expected. And it allows us to help people in a time of need like this. I mean, this is literally an unprecedented time of need where almost every single human needs help. And the goal of California Strong is to be able to have the widespread impact and be able to help as many of these people as possible. And playing a celebrity softball game is something that allows us to generate funds to give back to these people who are in a time of need.
And you've already done that in this situation, given out more than $120,000 already in direct financial aid to Californians who are being impacted by coronavirus, $130,000 to researchers at UCLA, UCSF, Cedars-Sinai, plus providing over 100,000 meals to Feeding America, which is a great organization that's doing such important work. And you're not only doing that, you're also back home in Wisconsin, or where the Brewers play in Wisconsin. You're at home now. You're partnering with the 3rd Street Market, providing meals to healthcare workers. We have some images of that, and it really is remarkable when you see the healthcare workers and sort of under their masks, you can sort of tell the smiles on their faces as you're a part of helping to feed them.
Yeah, it's incredibly impactful. I mean, it's emotional to see those images. There's no more meaningful thing you can do on this planet than positively impact other people's lives. And I think for all of us as athletes, we've tried to use the position that we're in to help other people. There's no greater feeling for us personally, and then to hear their stories and to see the impact we've been able to make on people's lives is something that is incredibly impactful. I think it's just motivated and inspired us to try to do more.
Meanwhile, you're also a father of two of the cutest kids ever. I mean, I feel like you guys, the pictures of you guys is like what we should see in the frames that you would buy at a store or something. And
my wife deserves
you're now
all credit
home
for any cute pictures.
For the first time in your sort of career, you're now home with the kids. What's quarantine life like? How are you adjusting personally?
My kids are 3 and 5, and we actually have another child that's due in about a month. So we have our hands full, but at the same time, we are enjoying the extra family time. Really grateful from my perspective for the extra time that I'm getting to spend with them. Trying to make the best of it, trying to stay as positive as we can. But again, trying to keep them entertained all day is challenging at times. So I think all parents of young children could attest.
Are you nervous at all about having a baby during all this?
Yes, very. And obviously, we don't know what hospitals will look like a month from now. So it's scary. I think that anybody who's going through a similar situation would probably have a similar answer. It's not something any of us have ever experienced before. In about a month, we'll be in a hospital, and we just have to hope that we're put in the best position possible. But it's scary.
Well, we're wishing you the best, a preemptive mazel tov to you and your family.
Thank you.
And we like to play music on this show. So we're playing something especially for you to remind you of a simpler time.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, do it better than anybody.
This is, of course, Kanye West Power, which was your walk-up song last year. Why this song?
I change it up. I think as baseball players, we're all a little bit superstitious. So whenever you find a song that you're having success with, usually stick with it for a while. I've been a Kanye fan forever. He's an incredibly talented artist. And it's a song that I had some success with, so I had to stick with it.
You've had quite a bit of success in your baseball career, but I think what you've done off the field is really even more impressive. And we appreciate the inspiration that you are and all that you're doing for so many people in California. Ryan Braun, thank you so much. CaliforniaStrong.org for Ryan Braun.